Marketing and Special Events Coordinator at the Wyoming Frontier Prison. I'm here today to show you our gas chamber. We installed this in 1936 and it was in service right up until we closed in 1981. The last execution that we used this was December 10th, 1965. Now let me explain to you how this thing works. Underneath the chair is a small mechanism controlled by this lever. That very simple action drops cyanide tablets into a vat of hydrochloric acid, resulting in a chemical reaction creating hydrocyanic acid gas. They would take you in and strap you down, one across your chest, 2 per arm and 2 per leg. On their way out before they shut that door in your face, they would tell you to hold your breath, and that is because hydrocyanic acid gas will render you unconscious more quickly, and thus kill you more painlessly if you let it absorb through your skin and don't have fresh oxygen in your lungs. It was another form of asphyxiation. Now this is the second form of execution that we used here at the Wyoming Frontier Prison. Initially we had a gallows system called the Julian Gallows. Very interesting setup created by a man named James Julian. It did not require an executioner. We did carry out 14 executions in total during our 80-year operation, 9 by hanging, 5 by gas. Okay, we are standing in the top part of our gallows system. We were pretty fortunate here. It was indoors. Now that was made possible by a certain type of gallows that we use, the Julian Gallows, which as I mentioned do not require an executioner. Later I will take you into the museum and show you the scale model so that you can see how it works. What we have in this room here is the original area where the trapdoor used to be, as well as the original bolt in the ceiling. The purpose of the window on the wall was the man would basically stand here and they would tell him to take one last look at the world before asking him to step onto the trapdoor. Okay. This is the Julian Gallows. This device was created by a man named James Julian, who was a humanitarian and an architect over in Cheyenne. Basically what he was trying to do here is eliminate the need for an executioner so that no innocent man would have to bear the guilt of pulling the lever on a traditional style gallows for executions. You've got your standard gallows trapdoor with a hinged plank of wood underneath it. That plank of wood sits atop a lever, which sits atop a valve right down here. That valve is attached to this bucket of water, which occupies one side of a second lever, opposite a counterweight. The man was told to step onto the trapdoor, and when he did so, his weight would push down on it, pushing down on the hinged plank of wood, opening the valve, allowing water to drain from the bucket. He had to stand there listening to the water drain for a minute to a minute and a half. Slowly but surely the water starts to drain. You can see the counterweight getting heavier and heavier in relation to the bucket of water. Once it gets heavy enough, it removes the plank of wood that's holding up the trapdoor and the man essentially hangs himself. This was our execution method of choice from when we opened in 1901 until we installed our gas chamber in 1936.